all I have to say is what a week. Now, a lot of you guys might have looked at this week and be like, God dang, another red week, man. Why can't we just see green? What's going on? We just want it to be green. I just want to be positive again. Well, the way that I look at it and the logic that I'm taking when it comes to Hyliion stock, this has actually been a pretty good week, and I'll be going over all of that in today's video. My name's Tyler Hill, and in today's video, I'll be going over a quick recap of the week, what all happened this week, and then what I think is going to be going on in the future. Now, I did do a video like this last week, and you guys really did take it pretty well. You really liked the idea of me giving just a weekly recap every Friday or Saturday and just talking about what I thought of, what happened this week and putting all the info and all the news into one little video. So, here you go again. This is something that I do plan on continuing to do. It seems like you guys do like the thought of it, and if you ever have any suggestions for these videos, what could make them better, what I should take out, anything like that, definitely let me know in the comment section below. Now, I am sorry that I haven't posted at all this week except for Monday. As you guys know, I'm an MMA fighter and I'm a college student, and sometimes my life just gets really hectic, and so it's been pretty hard just getting through all of these exams and training. But we are back on track, we are back to the grind, and we are back on the road to 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet, if you are new to the channel and you want to show me some support and some love, you could definitely let me know by smashing that subscribe button, liking this video to get it out to more of a crowd so we can get more people to check out the channel. And if you do have any suggestions that can make this video better, or any suggestions of videos you'd like to see, let me know in the comment section below. I always reply there. But with all that being said, let's go ahead, let's take a look at what happened with Hyliion this week and my opinion on what will happen here in the future. Now, some of the biggest news that we did receive this week is that on November 12th at 8 a.m. before market opens, Hyliion will be releasing their quarterly earnings from the last quarter. Now, this is super important, and this is something to definitely watch out for. The reason I say that is because Hyliion has been making a lot of claims recently that some people do, tend to feel that are just a little bit over the top, and some people just don't really know the logistics or legitimacy, in a way, of what they're saying. Because we have Hyliion say things such as, reporting that they're going to expect it to do over $300 million in 2022. And, it can really be taken like, man, you guys still have a lot to prove before you can start talking about doing hundreds of millions of dollars in revenue. So whenever we do take a look at this new quarterly report that's coming up next week, or in 2 weeks, sorry, it'll be very interesting to see where this company's at right now. Because the thing is, we've been getting this good news over the last couple of weeks about the CAT deal, the ANG deal, the deal with Agility, all that good stuff, super good things. But it's kind of hard to put it all into one piece. It's like you have a bunch of little puzzle pieces. Whenever you put them all together, you can really see the big picture. And I truly believe that this quarterly earnings will be the real big picture of where they are financially at the moment. Because it seems like everything's going so good, but we can't really tell exactly how well it's going in the broad sense of things. And I think whenever we do get their quarterly earnings, it'll give us a really good perspective and a really good view on how big they expect to grow in such a short amount of time. Because they're reporting that they're expecting to do over $300 million again by 2022. So are they just, going completely overboard? Are they maybe undercutting? Maybe is that realistic? I think the quarterly earnings that we will see from all of these new deals will definitely let us know if they're just over the top or if they actually have real logic and reasoning as to why they believe they can do those numbers. So again, it can be super important, especially as an investor, especially as a long-term investor, to take a look at this, keep an eye out and see how well they are doing financially, because this is the first taste we're going to get since their IPO of where this company is financially and statistically. So whenever it comes down to price action, Hyliion started the week at open on Monday at about $21.50 and currently on Friday at $18.50. That is about a loss of roughly $3, which is about 14%. But one thing I do want to take a note of is the fact that take a look at the whole market this week. Especially whenever you look at certain companies like Apple, Microsoft, Store Capital, Coca-Cola. I just said my entire portfolio, sorry. But whenever you look at some of those really big companies, the market took a beating this week. There's a lot of uncertainty. The corona cases are starting to grow again. It's getting a little bit weird. Elections are getting really close. And there's a lot of uncertainty in the market. So whenever we do see Hyliion falling, it really doesn't surprise me, especially in a week like now. But one thing I do want to note is the fact that in the span of this week, with all this uncertainty in the market, it honestly has not fallen as much as one could have expected that it would, because it was already falling at an alarming rate. Then you add all this uncertainty from, the Rona or whatever, and all the other things in the world. You would have thought this thing might double down and just freaking tank. But it actually held good. Like, it held up very well. Now, I do have some numbers here that I wanted to pull up. Just, to compare this week's losses to the week prior to this one's losses, just to show how much it's actually starting to slow down. So on October 5th, the price of Hyliion was at $39.16. Now, on October 9th, it was down to $29.73. This equates to a $9.43 loss over the entire week. Now, that is bad. Now, if that happened now, I would be very, very upset and worried at the same time. Now, whenever we go ahead and we look at October 12th, on that Monday, it started out at $28.72 and fell to $27, which was a loss of about $1.72. Now, this loss was definitely not as bad as the week prior to it, but it was definitely still a pretty big loss week in general. Now, whenever we go into the next week, from October 19th to October 23rd, over the course of that Monday to Friday, we saw the stock fall from $25.55 all the way down to $22.11. That equals out to a $3.44 loss. So you can kind of see that over the span, except for that second week, it's starting to, in general, slow down a bit. Now, those numbers didn't necessarily include weekends and the amount that it fell over the weekend whenever the week started, but just in general, from Monday to Friday, how much it fell. And that's what I was focused on, because I did want to take note of something again. This week, which is a week of uncertainty for the whole market, it's fallen less than every week since its IPO. What does that say? It shows that there's a lot of resistance around the between $20 and $19 mark. Because if we do remember back to June and July, that's the mark that it also showed a lot of resistance and didn't really go past. Because we saw it initially have its big hype. It came down a bit to about $20 to $19. It side traded for a good while, and then when the hype of its merger actually going public, then we saw the hype shoot this thing to the sky. So whenever we do watch it come back down, it will be very interesting to see how well these resistance levels hold up. Will it smash through it at election time? Who knows? Because whenever I look at it, when I think about the fact that, okay, all the uncertainty in the market is not driving that thing down as much as it was in the last couple of weeks. And also, I did want to note one thing. Over the last 2 weeks before this, we were getting a lot of deal news from Hyliion. The CAT news, the A&G news, the agility news, all the good news was coming out about these contracts and deals they were having, but the stock was falling at a very, very fast rate. But then whenever you look at a week like now, where they released their earnings, but they didn't really release any new deals or agreements, and it stops falling as much. What does that say to me? What that says to me is, this thing isn't falling because of the overall market. It's not really falling because of fundamentals, nor is it falling because of deals or actual financial reasonings. This thing is being shorted out bad. The shorters are targeting this thing and crushing it no matter what happens at all. Now that actually excites me as an investor because we all know shorters are temporary. The short sharks are temporary. They come around, they smell blood in the water, they smash something, and they dip off into the next company. So that makes me think as an investor, okay, as we start to reach these resistance levels, we finally hit the level everyone was talking about. Jim Cramer and all the analysts were saying $20 seemed like a good mark to buy. Okay, well, we're finally here. So we've seen the shorters have a lot less success over this week than they had over every other week. So I'm very interested and curious to see, okay, as the next couple of weeks come on, whenever they have new companies to just beat down, I really do believe that we're going to start to see this thing be taken over by the real, true long-term investors and the fundamentalists who are investing in this thing for the actual potential and purity of the company. So again, that is my little prediction. I do believe that since we are now at this 20 level, I don't expect that it'll go down much more personally. And this is not financial advice. I'm not advising you to buy it. But personally speaking, I think at this resistance level, the shorters are going to start to have a lot less success. And I feel like since they are the main reason this thing is getting beat down to the ground, that we're going to start to see it start to pop back up soon after it does side trade for a good little while. I'm going to use this side trade session to definitely get a bunch of shares. I did tell you guys that I would tell you when I started to buy a lot of Hyliion. Well, that time is next week. I do plan on loading up. The only if thing that comes with that, or like the what if factor, is just going to be elections. We don't really know what's going to happen with the overall market in general with elections, but I feel like one way or another it's not going to impact the EV industry as much in a way. I do believe that, again, I did release a whole video on the EV market and what could happen if Biden or Trump wins, so definitely check that out. But I do believe that certain presidential candidates would do better for the EV market, but at the end of the day, I don't believe that it's going to affect it so much that we would see Hyliion drop to like $7 or anything like that. So again, it will be very interesting to watch. We definitely have to keep an eye in 2 weeks on the earnings. You have to keep an eye on the price action and see how it holds up at these resistance levels. And we have to keep an eye out on these agreements because, again, there were a lot of pre-orders that we talked about last week, and there was a lot of terms and conditions that did come with those pre-orders. So this week we didn't hear any bad news about them breaking any of those terms and conditions. So we definitely need to make sure that they do keep producing, do keep releasing these, this news and this good contract agreements and all of these things at a good rate, and continue to reinvest the money that we are giving them back into the company and see them do great things. Well, that will be it for this week's weekly recap. There wasn't much news, but there definitely was a few different concepts to take a look at that made a lot of sense. Let me know what you guys thought about that video down in the comment section below. Again, I am getting so close to 1,000 subscribers, and I did want to let you guys know that I will be making a 1,000 subscriber Q&A with all you guys' questions. Anything you would like to know, please let me know down in the comment section below. But with that being said, I will see you guys tomorrow with a new video. Until then, peace.